The radical Democrat Party has waged war on black families for many, many decades. Think of it. It's really 100 years. It's a century. They've controlled these cities for 100 years. Hard to believe. I said, can't be. It is. They've controlled. And look at what you take a look at Baltimore. You take a look at New York. You take a look at Chicago. You take a look at all of these places. Take a look at what's going on in the West Coast. Take a look at what's happening. And they've controlled these cities for 100 years. And nothing happens. They're slum areas. They're dangerous. Nothing has happened. And we're going to change it. We're going to change it.
I'll play just one more
Sure.
bit of what Trump said tonight.
Oh, God.
These lights are so bright in my eyes that I can't see too many people out there. But I can only see the black ones. I can't see any white ones. You see, that's how far I've come. That's how far I've come. That's a long way, isn't it? These lights. We've come a long way together.
You know, Trump is just too funny. Now, the Democrats try to use this to call him a racist. A lot of people seem to have forgotten way back when he first started running for president and he went to the black conservative event. He couldn't see the people in the room. It was like a dark room. And they try to say that he's a racist because it was a room with black people and he said that he couldn't see them. And they tried calling him a racist. And now look how he flipped it. This is just too funny. The man is like a comedian. And it seems like that's the only thing the Democrats got to hold on to. That he's a racist, he's a racist, he's a racist. That's all they got. My name is Noel. Welcome to Verbal on Life. If this is your first time on the channel, go ahead and click subscribe. I'm trying to grow the channel up to 1,500 so far. In this video, we're going to take a look at the black conservative and what he got to say about this whole Donald Trump speech. And try watching all the way to the end so you can comment below and be verbal on life. All right, let's take a look.
All right, guys, so we got to talk about CNN and their panel of paid black liberal propagandists who are upset and mad about the fact that Trump is making strides with the black community. In fact, if you believe the polls, and that's a big if the election was held today, Trump would have the most black votes for a Republican since the civil rights era, okay? As it looks like black people are looking to abandon the Democrat Party for a variety of reasons. First and foremost, Democrats have not fulfilled any of the promises that they made to black people in regards to what they're going to do. Also, on top of that, when you look at issues like illegal immigration and how it has shown up to some of these inner liberal cities like Chicago and New York, a lot of black people seeing the writing on the wall in regard.
More and more people are waking up and realizing that the Democrats are just talking, but not fulfilling any of their promises. Nothing is getting done. What do you think? Comment below. Are they coming through with what they're promising? We need to change party, and slowly but surely people are switching parties, moving over to Trump camp, the Republican camp.
Not gonna cut it, right? We all know black women are going to vote for Joe Biden no matter what at a 95% clip. But I'm hoping that at least when it comes to black males, we get black males voting for Trump at a 30, 40, maybe even 50% clip. That would be real progress. So until then, CNN is fuming, right? They're fuming over the fact that Trump is actually reaching out to black voters. He did a speech at the Black Conservative Federation in South Carolina, and he made jokes while also exposing Joe Biden as a racist who hates black people, which I think is, you know, probably accurate. I don't know. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. But that's essentially what Trump was doing. He was flipping the narrative. He was like, no, Trump, Biden is actually the guy that don't really like black people too much, despite what the mainstream liberal media says. And of course,
and the Democrat does a great job of following through with the narrative, all right, with the talking point. And Trump is just flipping it on them, and they don't know what to do. They really don't know what to do about it.
Again, CNN is upset. They get their black propagandist, Abby Phillip, to attack Trump and to say, no, Trump is actually the real racist. And this is basically the gist of our modern day politics. So without further ado, I want to react to this clip from Abby Phillip. So let's get into it.
Good evening. I'm Abby Phillip in Washington. And just moments ago in South Carolina, Donald Trump accused the sitting president of the United States of hating black people.
It's the only thing he's really been good at. his entire career. You know what that is? Being a racist, because he's a racist. Biden spent years palling around with notorious segregationists.
Donald Trump made that remark in South Carolina while making a pitch to the core of the Biden coalition, Black voters. Now, Donald Trump failed to mention a few important things there. He was the guy who played footsie with white nationalists.
No, they try to say that he was playing footsie. They try to put that in your mind to make you think that he's really a racist when he's not.
After Charlottesville, Donald Trump.
No, he didn't. This is a lie. Right? Trump did not play footsie with white nationalists. What does that even mean? You notice how she's being vague about it, right? Instead of being specific about exactly what that means, is because, again, she's just making it up, right? They're just making it up.
Was the guy who had to be asked over and over again to distance himself from David Duke, the literal grand wizard of the Ku Klux Klan. And the actual Trump sales pitch to Black voters was even simpler than that. Biden bad, Trump good.
And I'm thrilled to be here tonight with crooked Joe Biden's absolutely worst nightmare. Hundreds of proud, Black, conservative American patriots. They shouldn't be doing well, because honestly, they've done a lousy job for you. They've done a lousy job for you. They've done a lousy job for everybody. But for Black Americans, they have done a very poor job. If you want strong borders, safe neighborhoods, rising wages, good jobs, great education, and the return of the American dream, then congratulations, you are a Republican. It's pretty simple.
By the way, do you agree with Trump that the Democrats have not been doing a good job in fulfilling their promises or coming through with what they say they're going to do?
Trump says that he's not going to take the Black vote for granted. He says under the last 4 years of his presidency, he achieved the lowest African-American unemployment rate ever recorded. But it turns out that's not true. The all-time low for Black unemployment was set by, you guessed it, Joe Biden.
Now, again, this is the biggest load of... I really want to curse so bad right now. I really do. Bro, I want to curse this woman out right now for telling this blatant lie, okay? Because she knows that what Trump was talking about is at the time, Trump had set the record for the lowest Black unemployment rate at 5.2%. You're talking about the Black labor force participation rate reaching 63.2%. That is the highest that it's been since the 2008 recession. So not only were Black people doing well in regards to unemployment, okay, they had the lowest unemployment at that point, okay, at that time, right? She knows what Trump was talking about. She just ignores it. But they were also willing to work more. They had more labor force participation than since 2008. Okay, now this was better than Obama, who's supposed to be the first Black president, right?
And I think they take advantage of the fact that most people do not do the research. They don't really have the time to go back to the history to see if it's true or not.
And I hope at least this time around, Black folks don't listen to the mainstream liberal media and you pay attention to the numbers, right? Look at the numbers, look at the facts, look at the data. Trump has been the best president for Black people in a long time, period. In fact, Trump has been the best president for all of American people in a long time, period, right? I'm just saying, but we have to frame it this way because this is the only way that the woke revolutionaries will listen. This is the only language they speak, right? But again,
calling Trump a racist, it's just part of the narrative that they got in order to get people to get away from Trump. But slowly but surely, people are waking up and see that it's so not true. Here's an excellent response from Byron Donald to whether Trump is a racist or not. And his response is worth noting. Let's take a look.
And on Friday, you introduced Donald Trump at a group of Black conservatives. He made a number of headline-making comments, including this one. Take a look.
I got indicted a second time and a third time and a fourth time. And a lot of people said that that's why the Black people like me, because they have been hurt so badly and discriminated against. And they actually viewed me as I'm being discriminated against.
Congressman, it sounds like Donald Trump was implying that he can win Black voters because they get indicted all the time, too. Is that what he was saying?
Well, I think it's in part of that. That's part of it, Kristen. Look, it was a great night Friday night in Columbia, South Carolina. The president was really just enjoying himself. It was a great celebration for Black across our country. But let's be very clear. Our economy is a mess. Our border is completely unsecured. These things are causes of major concerns for Black voters, like it is for every voter in our country. But then when you layer on the fact that, yes, this is political persecution from the Department of Justice and from radical DAs throughout our country, this is something similar that Black people had to deal with the justice system themselves.
Donald Trump went over to the Black conservative event, and this is what he got to say and he got to do just to gain support. just to gain people to vote for him and recognize that he is actually helping everybody. We are all winning because of Trump.
And so their look of it is real simple. Well, dang, if the government's going after him with foolishness, he can't be that bad, especially considering the fact that Joe Biden is terrible at his job.
Congressman, let's just be clear. All 4 indictments against former President Trump were brought by grand juries. There is no evidence that the indictments are political in nature. But let me...
And that's the narrative that the media keeps saying, that there is no evidence, even though we can see that it's obvious they're going after Trump so he doesn't run for president. It's so obvious, and if you don't see it, let me know. Write down, comment below. What do you think? Are they really politically prosecuting Trump? What's your opinion?
Stick to the question here. Let me get you to respond to Biden campaign co-chair and former Congressman Cedric Richmond, who said this about his comments. Donald Trump claiming that Black Americans will support him because of his criminal charges is insulting. It's moronic, and it's just plain racist. How do you respond to that charge, that it's just plain racist?
What I would say is that Cedric is trying to play politics and use racial politics even now as we get into the general election. That's one. Number two, like I said at the top, the number one reason why minority voters in our country want to support Donald Trump is because he did the job of president. He did a great job as president. Our country was secure. The economy was great. These are all things that Donald Trump talked about Friday night. He also did talk about the indictments. What Americans don't want to see, especially Black Americans and anybody else, they don't want to see a politicized Justice Department. They don't want to see a two-tier system of justice. They want justice to be followed. They want Lady Justice to be blind. That's what the American people want. That's what Black voters want. That's what everybody wants. Thanks.
I think more and more representatives should respond like this, because all they're trying to do is weaponize the government against Donald Trump and get him out. But again, let me know what you think. Do you think Trump is a racist, or it's just a media narrative? They want you to think that he's a racist, but he's really not. The man is funny. I thought that speech was great because, yes, it looks like the political system is being weaponized and being used against Trump just so he won't get elected. Even though he did so many great things for us, for everybody across the board, they don't want to point it out. They want to stay harsh and just say that he's a criminal that needs to be indicted and needs to be put away for over 100 years. What it seems like. But comment below. Be verbal on life. Let us know what you think.
Verbal on life.
Again, my name is Noel from Verbal on Life. Up to 1,500 subscribers. Looking to grow this channel and be verbal about everything that's going on in life. They're starting to realize that Donald Trump is untouchable. No matter what they do to him, he keeps coming back. Trump 2024. Let's make it happen. Let's all be verbal on life. Peace.